excited. We are baking today. All of your holiday baking. You are going to get amazing recipes all throughout this hour. Please welcome Randy Feltus. We are starting with some old-fashioned family recipes. The best thing about, I know, we match. It's perfect. These are our baking sweaters.
Yes.
The best thing about your first recipe today is, ta-da!
See, I wouldn't let you down. A little bit of cocoa goes a long way.
Hello, chocolate spread.
Yes.
I love anything that has to do with that.
And it plays so perfectly with the shortbread because as a
Nutella
shortbread and a kid,
shortbread.
I was like, it's pretty good, but sometimes it's dry and you get that dusty thing going on.
That's true.
Mix a bit of cocoa in there.
Yeah, that can't hurt.
Makes it a little bit more moist, makes it beautiful.
So is this actually your grandma's or your mom's?
The shortbread is, yes.
Your
and
mom's
it's
recipe.
pretty classic. It's probably my grandmother's. It gets passed down. And this was the stuff that we always made. It was always the shortbread, but I had to just bring it up a little, you know what I mean? Because I have to play around with things. You know what I mean?
You had to Randy Feltus it. I get that.
So basic shortbread dough is a 3-2-1.
Okay.
So we have 1 part sugar, 2 parts fat, 3 parts flour.
Okay.
All right?
Baking's
now,
so specific.
what you do with those ingredients, that's the fun and the flavor. So the first thing you do whenever you're baking, and I'm not a huge baker by any means, but I do know the classics and simple rules, is you got to cream your butter.
Yes.
Makes
Very
things
important.
airy, makes things delicious. I think the most important rule is you need butter because that makes everything delicious, but you cream it.
Yeah,
so you just give it the onions there, right?
Okay.
If you could just pass me that icing sugar that's on the cookies.
Absolutely.
Right? A little bit of icing sugar in there, right? And
So
this is how
add
easy
that
it is to
in,
make.
And are you mixing slow? Are you mixing fat? You're mixing
I'm giving it
fast.
the onions, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a quick show, you know.
I know.
It gets a little.
Speed everything
It
up
gets
for
a little
TV.
like foggy in here, but that's okay. And then in goes the flour.
Now, would you ever, you use white flour.
Yes.
Would you ever mix the white flour up with any other kind of flour?
You want to
Are
use some
using
spelt.
pastry?
You want to use some buckwheat. It's sifted flour. So the idea behind that is that you're going to make everything absolutely light and fluffy with the sifted flour. But I would use whole wheat. I would use anything. And what I would do is I would just cut the amount of flour back. Then we talk about the little secrets and stuff like that. Here's some vanilla extract, but this is the real stuff. And then I stuff in the vanilla pods inside.
Oh.
Right? And then I put in Irish whiskey.
I guess it works.
Because that feels like the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And,
It
you know,
sounds like the right thing to do.
a couple teaspoons isn't going to hurt you, right?
Right.
You got that? Because we
let
need
me
the
see how
moist.
this looks
How's that
now.
looking so far?
That looks great.
You know what?
It's
we
doing
get
all
in
the
there.
work.
It's doing everything for you. And this is how easy it is. The one other little trick, which isn't on the recipe online, but that's okay.
Cornstarch.
But I mean just a little fluff, okay?
You can tell you're a chef because bakers tend to be very exact about everything, but you're still doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
I gotta
You're
just
adding
shake it in
your
there,
own.
right?
Yeah.
And then if the dough's a little dry, you add a little bit more cornstarch. And if it's a little wet,
play with it a little.
or add a little bit more of the Irish whiskey, you know, whatever you want to do, whatever it is.
Whatever makes the most sense.
But it's this simple. So it comes out of the bowl, and this is the reason why I think you see so many people making shortbreads. Because number one, I mean, you have all these ingredients at home, but number two, it's dead easy to make.
Yeah. It's really just mixing it all around, and now you make it into a cookie. Right?
You ready for this?
Do you have a special, a special way that you come up with your cookie shape? Do you have a little mold, or do you do them all freehand?
See, this is a little different because everyone else likes to like roll it out, and I find that's where the cookie gets really dry because you're adding more flour and more flour.
Yeah.
What I like to do is, hello, what's going on? Get it from the bowl onto the board as soon as possible. That can go, and then just with a sharp knife, just kind of cut it.
I still would bake the ends though, because that is a big chunky cookie.
We're gonna mix that into our ice cream later. Don't kid yourself.
Oh yeah.
I already think Ben and Jerry came up with it, right?
Yeah.
So there we go. We just kind of roll it, and this might be a little wet, but you know you could add a little flour and kind of dry it up a bit.
Yeah, it's almost better that way though than very dry.
Right?
Yeah.
So then you can just kind of like make them into little rounds, put them out like that. And this is a nice little thing you can do with the family. I can remember some of my fondest memories at home were in the kitchen with the family and kind of getting your hands dirty.
But wash your hands first, kids.
Did you wash your hands, Tracy?
Well, if my mother told me to, I would. I washed my hands today.
So pop these in the oven, and it says like anywhere from 12 to 14 minutes, but that you can't count minutes.
Yeah.
You gotta sit there and watch. Like you gotta watch what's going on.
You do.
And I don't want to see the brown on the bottom. A lot of people tell you the brown on the bottom is when it's done, but I think it's too far gone.
Okay.
And if you take a look at these babies, these are about 10 minutes. And as soon as they could, and as soon as I could pick them off the tray, put them onto a baker's rest, and see?
You still have a little bit of softness. You don't want it to be a brick, right?
That's the whiskey.
I think, yeah, that's the whiskey. I think always taking out cookies a little bit earlier is a good idea.
Just a little bit, you know, you want to keep it kind of moist, and then in.
So wait till they cool off.
Wait till they cool off.
Right, and then when your guests are on their way, or can you do this way in advance?
You can do this way in advance, and that's why we had a little bit of cornstarch, because that'll dry out the moisture from the
Look at how good this
Nutella,
is.
right?
I don't even need another cookie.
You need another cookie.
I don't even think I do.
It's like the French petit fours, but it's like the Irish whiskey and cocoa with the Nutella. Perfect little
I have a
combination.
little Nutella sandwich
Nice?
with shortbread bread.
So then you can stack those up. And they're just airtight containers. So
Yeah.
I came up with something cool. You know, a little. Everyone knows I love the jars. So a little bit of jars. You can put like 6 of those in. You can take them to the neighbors, whether you like them or hate them. It's a nice gift, right? You can stamp their name on the side. I've also got a little cookie bag here. Anything airtight's going to work. But we do need one final thing with these, because I mean they look pretty, but you know you have to have the.
You gotta ice it. Beautiful. It's snowing.
There you go. There you go.
Give it up for Randy Feltis, everyone. Recipe on our website, cityline.ca.